Hello everyone and welcome back to a Football Forecast. In today's video I'll be reviewing Real Betis versus Nottingham Forest, and Nottingham Forest will be disappointed, I think, the fact that they haven't got the 3 points because they played so well in that first half, and unfortunately Ange Postecoglou's men dropped off in the second half. I think Ange will be incredibly disappointed considering he would have seen this as their first opportunity to get his first win as the new Nottingham Forest manager, and he needs this win soon, and I felt like this was the game where they deserve to win. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So, as I said, Forest did start this game off incredibly well. They started the game sort of, I think, how Ange would have wanted to start this game, fast. Look, they did go 1-0 down, however, to Real Betis early, and it was a very well-worked goal from Real Betis, and a goal which Bakambu scored, a nice assist from Antony, who was definitely Real Betis' probably most attacking threat in this game. And yeah, Forest went 1-0 down, and that would have been frustrating for Ange Postecoglou. But where Ange Postecoglou will be impressed is how quickly Forest responded from going 1-0 down. Immediately after Forest scored through Igor Jesus, it was a nicely taken goal from Igor Jesus and a good cutback from Morgan Gibbs-White. And immediately after, Forest got a second goal, once again through Igor Jesus, assisted by Douglas Luiz, and this really gave Nottingham Forest momentum in this first half. And this first half domination is actually shown by these stats, and these stats really did reflect what happened. Real Betis scored early, but apart from that, it was all Nottingham Forest, and they missed too many chances, to be honest. They should have got the third goal, and that's the third goal that I think would have really sealed off this game and given Real Betis no chance of coming back. Igor Jesus, despite scoring two brilliant goals, I really think could have got a third. His header for the second goal was brilliant, but the third goal needs to come. He had a great chance, just a bit of a tap-in, but he didn't quite get the finish that he needed. And also Morgan Gibbs-White had a very good chance for Nottingham Forest in this half. You do sort of wonder, if Forest got that third goal, I think Real Betis would have had no chance coming back. I think they would have really got the momentum. They may have been able to add a fourth in that half. They were that dominant in the first half. And Ange Postecoglou, that's what would disappoint him, because they played well. And look, the problem for Forest is when they play well, they're not always guaranteed to win, I think, under the sort of Ange Postecoglou system, because you're often left a bit susceptible defensively. But I thought overall, Postecoglou got the first half almost spot on. He got his tactics right. Forest looked like a real threat, and this is sort of the Forest that I think he wants to see. So I think he'll be very happy with his first half, but just disappointed the fact that they didn't add that third goal. This gave Real Betis a chance to actually get back into this game, and Manuel Pellegrini, the Real Betis manager, wasn't messing around. He made 3 second half changes to try and get that impact that he was looking for. He wanted a clear message of that was not good enough, and it wasn't good enough from Real Betis. And I think this got them a bit excited. They put some pressure on Nottingham Forest, and they started to look like the team that could actually score the equaliser. And they did eventually do this through Antony, which was a good finish from Antony using his right foot, which I think any Premier League fan or person that watched the Premier League was a bit surprised that he decided to use his right foot, but it was just a tap-in. But this gave Real Betis the equaliser, and it was a late equaliser, and gave Real Betis probably a very lucky point. I think Forest will be disappointed, and they really should have won this game, and the criticism shouldn't be too harsh, I don't think, on Forest for this game. I think Forest should be happy with that result in general. I think if they got a draw against Real Betis, but they didn't sort of waste those chances, they would have been reasonably happy with that. I think a draw against a team like this is pretty good. It's a tough team in Spain that you're playing, and I think Forest, what you've seen from that, are going to be a very difficult team to beat in Europe, and I actually think Forest could go all the way and win the Europa League. I do worry though, under Ange, are they just going to be too leaky in terms of goals conceded? I do think something like a Nuno would have been more solid in Europe, but at the same time, Ange just proved himself in the same competition, which I bet you played a factor in why Marinakis decided to appoint him. So, who played well for Nottingham Forest's first game back in Europe? Well, I really thought the defence was going to cause them some problems without Murillo, but I actually thought they did well. I know they conceded 2 goals, but I thought in general it was a pretty good defensive display. I thought Nico Williams at times was a threat going forward as well. Elliot Anderson, I thought, was a real standout player, and he continues to be a standout player for Nottingham Forest. I mean, it was a decent fee they paid from Newcastle because of like how they were trying to get around basically PSR and all that. but what they paid for him has turned out to be absolutely worth it. He's such a good player, and I really think another club like Chelsea, Manchester United, especially Manchester United, could use someone like Elliot Anderson. Then you've got Douglas Luiz, who obviously came off. I thought he was good as well, Douglas Luiz. I wonder if that is an injury. Igor Jesus, brilliant, scored 2 goals, and I think that is going to put Chris Wood under some pressure. Obviously, Jesus, though, did miss one chance, which would have probably ended the game, which he probably should have scored, but in general, I thought he played well, and I do think this does put Chris Wood under a bit of pressure. Do let me know if there's any Forest fans. Who would you prefer to see starting, Igor Jesus or Chris Wood? I'm on the probably side of, I think Igor Jesus is probably more what Ange wants in his striker, and I think he could end up being the main number 9. And this is coming from someone from New Zealand, someone that actually really likes Chris Wood. Obviously, he plays for New Zealand, and I've always appreciated him. And I thought he's always a very underrated player. But I do just sort of think with Ange's system, Igor Jesus is the more of the fit that he will be looking for. But yes, anyway, Forest do not win this game, but they did get a point, and I thought their performance was very good and very good signs for the future. And I think, despite the result, I think you can look past this and say Forest played very well. Please let me know your thoughts on the game. Do you agree with my assessment, or do you think Forest didn't play as well as maybe I sort of saw? Especially in that first half, I thought they were absolutely brilliant. And if you did enjoy this video, it'd be great if you could subscribe and like this video.